Well, hello everybody. Hope you're doing good. Got a little something I want to run by you today. As a state overseer, in a lot of ways, I am, I guess you could say, a headhunter. You know, one of those guys that goes around trying to find sharp employees for other companies. And so that's kind of what I do. I try to find good pastors. I help churches find good pastors. And I have a template that I go through, and I ask myself, because if I'm not careful, I'll find somebody that I like, or I want them to do well. I want them to win. I want to help them. And I got to remind myself, wait a minute, I have to hold myself in check and do what's best for the church. If they win, then everybody wins. And so I'd have to do the same thing at a church level, because sometimes as a pastor, this is really, some questions I have in my template that I want to share with you, because I had them even back when I was pastoring, because I'd find myself, two things. I'd find myself with somebody that I wanted to get them involved in the church. I wanted to keep them. And so I would try to give them a position. I'd try to give them a job, give them something to do. And that's not all bad, but it needs to be done right. Or somebody that's a perennial problem. They're the squeak in the squeaky wheel, and nothing makes them happy. And they're constantly kind of a thorn in your side. And so the idea is, if I give them a position, if I give them a job, that'll make them happy, and I'll accommodate them. And so I'd have to watch myself. And so I had a little template when I was recruiting volunteers, or looking for a position, or working with new people in the church, or anytime I would fill a position, I had a little template that I would work through. And there were 4 questions, and if I remember right, I believe I got these from Henry Cloud. He's a great author, just good practical applications with management and people relationships and things like that. He's a great author. I've read a lot of his stuff over the years. But here's the questions. What has the performance been so far? Okay. And then, is it good enough? And number 3, is there anything in place that would make it different? And number 4, if not, am I willing to sign up for more of the same? Okay, let me run them by you again, and I'll include these in the notes. What has the performance been so far? Is it good enough? Is there anything in place that would make it different? And if not, am I willing to sign up for more of the same? Now, think about it. Here's the breakdown of that principle. When hiring, whether it's in a volunteer position or whatever, but when hiring potential, that potential must always serve under someone that's already doing it. Okay, because sometimes what you'll see is got some new couple in the church, and they're so promising, they've got so much potential, or maybe a young person, and you want to hire them because you just like them. You can see what they can be. Okay, but you have to ask yourself, what's the performance been so far? And potential, when you're dealing with the bottom line in our work, which is souls, lives, then potential's not good enough. All right? And so I ask myself, no matter what their potential, are they doing it now? And if they're not knocking it out of the park with what they've got, then giving them a title, giving them a position is not going to make that big a difference. And so potential, if you give them a job, always give them a job under someone that's already doing it. And you may look at yourself and say, man, this young buck here, he has got so much potential than this guy that's been doing it for the last 50 years. Yeah, but the guy for the last 50 years has been doing it. And if he comes along and he's not willing to serve, he's not willing to learn what that guy can already teach him, then you're going to end up causing trouble for yourself. So then, is it good enough? All right, when you see somebody that maybe they volunteer, they're already involved, and you're thinking about giving them a promotion, is what they're doing good enough? Like in my position, if somebody is not showing up for state events, if they're not growing their church, if they're not faithful in reporting, if they're, they may be a nice guy, but if they're not doing the minimal requirement of what I'm asking, and the denomination's asking them, and their church is asking them, just because you like them, because I see potential in them, I have to check myself. Because why would I want to send somebody somewhere else and they're not taking care of business where they're at? And so is the person that you're thinking about getting more involved, are they being faithful with what they've got? Is that good enough? Are you happy with their performance now? All right, if you're trying to do it to appease them, well, maybe if I give them this job, they'll be more supportive. Don't bet on it. And then the third question, is there anything in place that would make it different? And you see somebody this is where you get with your grumpy people, okay? And you think, well, if I appease them and give them something better, something more important, if I can maybe put them on my council, put them on the youth board or whatever, and that'll make them happy. No, if there's no justification, if there's nothing that is different in their life. Now, maybe they had a Damascus Road, and you've noticed a Damascus Road experience, and you've noticed that over the last several weeks and months, man, they're on fire for God. There's a new humility. There's a new vision. There's a new desire to serve. They're praying, and you begin to see some evidence. Hey, we got to change here. Then you can look at giving them more opportunities. But if there's no evidence that anything's going to change, just giving them a carrot, giving them a position, giving them a promotion is not going to change things. They're going to take the same attitude into that new position. You can't appease people by giving them promotions. And then the last question, if not, am I willing to sign up for more of the same? And I've just learned I can see potential, or I can see someone that's disgruntled and I want to get them back in the fold. And maybe if I can, I'll give them an advantage. I'll give them a promotion. I'll give them a new position. I will placate them. It won't change. It won't get any better. If I promote somebody that is a loser, they're going to be a loser in the next position. If I promote somebody that's just mediocre, don't have any drive, they're not growing, they're not doing anything with what they've got, then to try to jumpstart them by giving them more responsibility, nothing's going to change. And so be careful when you are giving people promotions, when you're giving them positions, when you're advancing them. Do it for the right reason. Do it because they're already producing. They're already on fire. Potential should always serve under someone that's already doing it. And disgruntled, troubled people, trust me, giving them more is just going to give them more to gripe about, more to control, more to complicate your life. So you got to be careful. As a pastor, as a leader, it is a part of your job, just like me, to be a headhunter, to be finding somebody to fill positions, and to advance people's life and their ministry, to help them grow in discipleship. But you're not doing them a favor, yourself a favor, or the church a favor if you advance the wrong kind of people. Advance people that are already getting her done. Advance people that have a heart to serve. The marginalized people that are not willing to change and grow, that are not doing it now, and there's no evidence that they'll do it at the next level. Marginalized. Guard your heart. As much as you want to help people, you can't help people that are not willing to be helped. So there's my little pep talk for today. Hope you're doing well. Love you guys and gals. We'll see you around the bend as we keep running to win.